Transparency. It is the backbone of the furry community. When it comes to conventions, it is what we are promised when you walk into a convention around the world. That and the fact that the community is run entirely by volunteers is a delicate balance of power that is not in any way allowed to slip. But what happens when it does? I do apologise that I am a bit sick in this video. I'll try to cut it all out. Hello, my name is Labb, and so many of you have definitely heard the rumours and stories going through the grapevine about Reffurence. Now, some troubles that they were facing. Now, a good friend of mine who has been put in an awful position. This video was researched and created alongside my dear friend Thabo Meerkat and a lot of other individuals who gracefully asked if they could use my platform as a way to tell their story. My friend Thabo uses their channel purely dedicated to the best and the positivity of the furry fandom. It would be a complete juxtaposition to have a video drop on that channel, which seems very negative. So it's better suited for this channel. And yeah, I'm more than happy to give my platform to speak about this because this is a very large issue that happened, and it just wouldn't feel right putting on a channel that's dedicated so much to positivity, and Thabo and I are good friends. I'm more than happy to help them out. Now, I'm used to Americans and the British watching my videos, but for the new people from the Netherlands, hoi, mijn naam is Labb. Ik maak video's op internet. Ik ben Iers, maar ik hou van Nederland. Ik spreek ze beter Nederlands. En ik hou van Joost Klein. Ik hou van Joost Klein.
I am inside of you right now. And I hope you will come inside.
But without further ado, let's get into the background of this situation. So, to begin the video, I feel like a lot of you need more background information because we're speaking about the European furry community for once. And not as well known as the American furry community. Reffurence is a new convention that started in 2023 in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, which is here on a map for Americans that don't understand continents. Last year, it hosted a decent convention with its recent creation, having over 506 attendees and raised over 4,000 euros for a charity, a noble cause, as many furry conventions have, a kind of charity based on animals, because it's in the name. It's a noble cause and something I love about the furry fandom. As I mentioned, a lot of the conventions raise millions of dollars each year for both LGBTQ causes in America and also animals in general, and that's something beautiful that I think really, really shines. Now, where Thabo comes into play, Thabo is a very charitable person. They frequently volunteer at conventions around Europe and have for the last 20 years. They are our version of Uncle Kage. I know that Thabo will hate that reference. The story today involves a lot of unethical behaviour. Reffurence has only just transferred the money to said charity as of the 8th of February this year, when the convention took place in October. And I'll tell you why, and Thabo will help tell you why this has been an absolute mess. But as Thabo addressed this situation, they tried to throw Thabo under the bus by accusing him of tax fraud. I won't keep you too long because I want to give Thabo their own part in this video and give them the platform that they deserve to vent these frustrations. But yeah, I'll be back to give my own thoughts after Thabo, so take it away.
Hello. First of all, I would like to thank Labb for sharing her platform with me. Second, I would like to stress that in all my years of working with various charities, the absolute overwhelming majority of people had their hearts at the right place. Every year, furries around the globe work hard to make this world better for all of us. And even from within Reffurence, I have received plenty of support and I was surrounded with people who have a true sense of integrity. This video is not about them. The main purpose is to provide context on what has happened. Please do not harass the people mentioned in this video and any of the crew of Reffurence. Most of them are volunteers and just want to organize an amazing convention for the Dutch furry fandom. However, they too deserve to know what happened behind the scenes. All events are covered in chronological order. I will back them up with evidence consisting of audio records, screenshots and excerpts from our email correspondences and statements from our representative, of which I will address as the charity in this video. And I will show the original text and I will translate it for our non-Dutch speaking friends. Before the convention started, Reffuric, the chairman, contacted me over Discord, which I have on record, about questions on my side regarding charity. During this Discord call, several things were explained.
Alleen deze dingen, dit zijn gewoon de testen van mij geweest, die blijven voor altijd zichtbaar. Dus hier kunnen we ook niet mee sjoemelen. Dit zijn trouwens alle betalingen van Reffurence. Maar als ik dan zeg maar de point of sale pak, dan hebben we hier de omschrijving. En deze omschrijving heb ik zelf ingetypt in de terminal om te testen wat hij deed. En dus als er iemand nu €50 pint, zeg maar, dan komt hij pas morgen op de rekening te staan. Ja.
Transparantie en ervoor zorgen dat er geen fouten worden gemaakt.
Nee, kijk, en dit account wordt eigenlijk beheerd door 3 mensen. Door mij, door de, hoe noem je dat? Penningmeester. Dat is een vrouw. En die doet de administratie. En Bruni. En Bruni is zeg maar de tweede paar extra ogen.
Ja, maar
dus
dit...
zowel Bruni als kan gewoon real-time hier gewoon een export van maken als je die nodig hebt.
Nou, oké, maar in ieder geval, als er charity geld verdwijnt...
Nee, dat verdwijnt niet.
Nee, dat weet ik. Maar vandaar dat
dat mag van alles verdwijnen, maar niet het geld van charity.
Oh, geloof me, dan word ik rabbit. During the convention, my main 2 contacts were Bruni and Tratron. And both were very helpful during the convention, to both the charity team consisting of myself and Mavi, but also to the charity itself. The auction was a great success, but afterwards I unfortunately had to quickly run to help out a friend with an emergency. Tratron then took over the administrative handling for the people who won something during the auction, and also counted all the cash donations, which to my knowledge was done perfectly. I was very happy that we performed this well, with the minimum resources we had at our disposal. The result was calculated at €4,002.51, but because of the sheer pressure and making sure that we did not make any mistakes, it was announced as a little over €4,000. However, the exact amount would be known and agreed upon later. Reffuric told the charity representative that the digital funds would be transferred within a month, a maximum of 2 months, because, well, their payment processor would have a little delay and due to other administrative reasons. We had no reason to worry. Later that evening I went home, feeling good, as the convention was deemed a success and the feedback I received was very positive. The day after, when I was home, around 9:40 a.m., I was contacted by Bruni, telling me that the cash funds from charity were still at the hotel, if I could come and get it. Imagine my surprise! But after Bruni assured me that not the con shop, nor the board, or Reffuric, the chair, wanted to do anything with the cash, he asked if the charity could get this. I tried to reach our contact, but unfortunately she was busy with work. I told him I could drive back to Rotterdam. When I stepped into my car, I sent a tracking link, on which he responded, "Thanks." Around 11:10, I arrived at the hotel, where I was handed over the cash. I even talked with the chair, who proudly showed me the final amount of €3,203.51, reaffirming the amount that we concluded the day before. And this photo was taken during our conversation at 11:17 a.m. There was another donation from my friend of €50 on top of this, of which I sent a receipt to both Reffurience as Bruni. Fortunately, the charity was not too far from the hotel, and at 11:34 a.m. I arrived there, where I started counting the cash money again to verify the original amount, together with 2 volunteers from the charity as witnesses. After the counting, I got a receipt, more pleasantries were exchanged, I even got some gifts and a nice personal tour around the premises. After all, I was told several times that Reffurence would no longer be working with cash. When I got home, I sent Bruni at 2:01 or 14:01 the photos and the receipt from charity, including the fact that I donated said box. On which he responded nice with a very cool emoji. I also sent Reffurience the bank info of the charity, the receipt from both the donation and the bank transfer of €50. Unfortunately, I never received a response from him. Nothing of this communication indicated that anything was amiss. I was told that Reffurience was very busy most of the time. Bruni and Tratron were my main contacts. On the 15th of November, I contacted Reffurience again on Telegram asking if all went well with transferring the funds, but I received no response. And on November 20th, I asked him for a little one-on-one regarding how things went, something he told me before that he wanted to do as well. No response. Telegram has this little thing where you can see the most recent activity, and it showed last seen recently. Yet I had a dreaded left on red feeling when I kept on seeing one little mark below the lines. However, Bruni and Tratron were still responding, and on the 27th we had a call.
Dat had net zo snel moeten gaan ook hoor, dat ben ik veel met je eens. Dat is ook iets wat we beter moeten doen volgend jaar.
Ja, oké.
En ik ga nu even, ik heb toevallig komende vrijdag al een afspraak staan met Apple Moose om daar eens om voor wat anders, dus dan neem ik dit gelijk even mee.
Helemaal top.
En dan hoop ik in de week van, nou ja, dan de komende week is dan Sinterklaas, dan hoop ik ergens rondom daar al een update te hebben voor jou wat er gaat gebeuren.
Maar Reffurience, ja, die reageert niet omdat hij overweldigd wordt door alle berichten, snap ik helemaal. Maar dan de volgende keer, ik schiet gewoon Tratron aan en jou eventueel. Dan is dat ook gewoon helemaal goed. En dan is voor mij part de kous af. Ik zet 15 december lekker in de kalender. Ik geef het ook door aan en dit gaat helemaal goed komen.
En ik hoop begin volgende week een antwoord voor jou te hebben wat we gaan doen en hoe we erop gaan lossen.
Kan ik aan een estimate geven? En ik bedoel, het kan 1 of 2 weken wezen, dat maakt allemaal geen bal uit. Maar zolang ik maar een estimate kan nemen van, hey jongens, voor deze datum hebben jullie het.
Oké. Laten we afspreken dat dat gewoon voor half december geregeld moet zijn.
Voor 15 december.
Ja, dan moeten we het toch wel in ieder geval geregeld hebben. Of moeten we een antwoord hebben waarom iets niet kan.
So, we waited until the 15th of December. No response. On the 15th of December, I asked Tratron for any news, who informed me that they had a chat with the heads of department last week, and the treasurer went through the entire thing. Bruni would be told that week when the transfer would happen. I told him that this was not what we agreed upon. He would talk to Bruni, and he would contact me that evening. No response. On December 16th, I spoke again with Tratron, who told me he forgot during their meeting, which was an odd excuse, but okay. On December 17th, Tratron told me that he was having a meeting with Bruni. He told me the meeting was about to start. I requested to join, on which I was told he would ask. I was never asked to join, and after this I was being told that the charity was an administrative nightmare, which is odd, as I was assured time and time again that everything was transparent, the numbers were known, and the money was there. they would go through it in January and contact me then. And then Tretron had an emergency, so he had to keep things short. As you can understand, these kind of messages were raising red flags, and not with just me. I was not going to get brushed off that easily. So I wrote an email to Bruni, Tretron and Reffrick where I was demanding answers. How this could become an administrative nightmare, and how they just told me to wait for another month without any usable details, despite promising again and again that it would have been taken care of. Plus, we had not seen any evidence that the charity money wasn't still available. Because both me and the charity have been ghosted several times, I did include a deadline of 7 business days. If no answer was given by then, I would be forced to report this, in collaboration with the charity, to the relevant authorities. The morning after, I knew the email was read, because my account at the Reffurence was locked. No notice, no nothing, just locked. I informed Tretron of this fact. On the 19th of December, I received a response from Reffrick, informing that the money from the charity was still there, on an ING account, a Dutch bank. However, no proof was given. He also said there would be a briefing about this all, ignoring the fact that I contacted him about this before. However, he chose to ghost me. He claimed that the total amount was unknown, despite him showing me the total amount himself at Reffurence. And I was informed that I had no permission to take the cash donations to the charity. And I quote, "Because of this fact, you sent me a picture of a donation of €799.20. I reported this to the financial authority and the ING bank for an unauthorized transaction by an employee. I said your intentions were good. I do not dispute your integrity. You made this transaction at the charity without proof of being authorized by anyone from the board or by me. This report was filed at the ING Bank and the Dutch Tax Authority on December the 3rd because of the laws regarding laundering and financing terrorism. After all, I told you I really value integrity and I accept no risk at all. But I take full responsibility when it comes to financial affairs. Do note, I reported it that we as an organization made a mistake. We should have let you sign the proper documents, or, as agreed with you, that the board would be present to administer the account. Don't make the mistake that I reported against you as a person. This is not the case in this situation." Well, there's a lot to unpack here. Reffrick said I acted with good intent. We both know that the tax office or the bank do not give a hoot about intent. I did make that transfer, and after legal consultation I had to conclude that this very much is something that potentially compromises my financial credibility. The date, the December the 3rd. If this was a fraudulent transaction, why did you wait for 2 months to report this? Never in my communication with Bruni have I been given the impression that anything was wrong. And if there was, you could have contacted me so we could work out a solution. And why did you inform me 2 weeks after the fact, and only after I held you accountable for your behavior? You filed a report for a fraudulent transaction. This can trigger an audit not just for me, but for any financial party that has been in contact with me. This includes various conventions and charity organizations. You also know that I am in a line of work where financial integrity is very important. A financial report of this kind can compromise this, causing me to be unable to perform my duties, compromising my income for potentially months, if not years. And on top of all of this, he stated, because of the email you sent me, I will contact the charity personally, because I don't expect we are going to resolve this issue, especially because you think that the charity money is no longer available, which I see as a personal attack on my integrity. Reffurence stated that he would transfer €3,203.51 before January 31st. He wanted to have some extra time because his treasurer was going on a holiday. After a brief back and forth, he forgot about that total, despite me having sent him all the receipts, including the €50 that was donated. This altogether would be €3,253.51. Very well. I am absolutely not happy with the situation and the way Reffurence keeps on trying to blame me for a transaction I conducted by their request, and filing a report with both a major Dutch bank, where I have my accounts as well, and the Dutch tax authority. I still wanted the money to be transferred, and yet we had to see any proof of that. But Reffurence said he valued integrity. He would handle this with our contact of the charity. Nothing. On January the 25th, the charity sent a reminder asking Reffurence about the status. Nothing. On January 31st, on the deadline, the charity sent another email asking about the status. Nothing. After the deadline passed, we allowed a few days for grace, and we started the production of this video. We made sure that the charity double-checked their bank records through our contact. Imagine our surprise when, amidst our production on Saturday, February the 8th, news got to us that the amount was transferred on that very day. The entirety of €3,253.71. Do note, this was through charity itself. We received an export of the bank transfer, making sure that everything was in order. However, from Reffurence, there was no communication on their side. The way this was done gave us an impression that it was merely treated as an afterthought or a panicked reaction by Reffurence. Trust me when I say that there are plenty of theories why this was transferred only now, but I do not wish to speculate. But these facts remain. Promises were not kept, and people were left in the dark quite often. Not just me, but also the charity, leaving a very distinct bad taste in our mouths. The moment I held a Reffurence accountable for his actions, I got locked out of my account. I was asked to pick up the cash and donate it to charity, drove back to the hotel from my home. I was told everything was in order, only to be thrown under the bus for this months later. I was reported for fraud, jeopardizing my livelihood, as my job requires proof of a spotless financial record. Due to the nature of the report, money laundering, financially supporting terrorism and alike, other financial parties that I work with, including charities and other non-profits, were put at risk as well. Conventions are powered by goodwill and volunteers. People invest a lot of time, effort and resources into making these amazing events happen. If you treat your volunteers like this, if you treat the charities you work for like this, that goodwill will erode and the volunteers will feel burned out and eventually leave. In my 30 years in this wonderfully weird fandom, I have never seen an organization so blatantly taking advantage of my goodwill. Back to you, Labb.
Wires are fizzing about you, Faith. Sounds like...
Hello! We have a different ending to this video as it's been uploaded again. Today I want to discuss the aftermath of the video that we had, so let's begin. When our video went up, it was received instead with a complete non-response by Reffurence, so let's have a read and we'll see. Stop whenever I see an issue. Beginning. The statement. Reffurence doesn't comment on statement with the purpose to stir up drama, release private confidential information, or point the finger in a public manner, especially when it comes to highly sensitive private inquiries and accusations. We are not an organisation that pursues that kind of behaviour. We are not a convention dedicated to provide an enormously good and memorable time together. The fandom is not built on callouts and personal gains. This fandom is built with friends who enjoy the things they're doing together, and volunteers at conventions who are sacrificing their own time to make people's experiences better. You had us in the first half. That second part's better. Our convention has had its fair share of problems last edition. These problems were and are being addressed and dealt with. Thank you for most of the experiences of the convention were positive, and working hard on RFR 25 was even better. Despite our visionary difference, I would like to personally thank Thabo for his services to Reffurence and the charity-related expertise he brings to the furry events. Let's keep doing fun stuff together, guys. And then you have the list of individuals, Reffuric, Bruni, Tratron, that were mentioned previously in the video. I'd like to stop here to begin with. First, at the fact they call it the fact I made a critique video to begin with, and for personal gain. It was clear that they didn't watch the video. The main reason as mentioned at the beginning of the video was that I wanted to give my platform to Thabo to speak about the issues going on with the convention, and also hopefully able to turn this into a positive for the organisation that was left without €3,253.51. That's what I wanted to do here. Of the funding that they desperately needed. And also, as I will mention in a future story coming down the line, it's clear that you hiked up a lot of the prices for the auction. People gave their money, and with trust, that would go to a good cause. Yet it was actively withheld until the last second. You withheld a charitable donation for 4 months from an organisation that needed it. That's the baseline. That's my point. Shady dealings with money are not the trustworthy things that the fandom is built on. I want to bring up a new screenshot as well. A few hours before Reffurence had actually posted their statement about loving thy neighbour and caring so deeply. As in the statement, they mentioned that they solely wanted to thank Thabo for their service. But a screenshot that we received tells a lot of a different story. Here it is in Dutch. Oh, from Reffuric. Oh, the con chair. Oh, I'm sure he has something lovely to say. It must be like thanking Thabo and being like, Thabo, you're the best. You're the best. Oh, no, nice to hear about your message, but we just paid the charity. Do you want me to go public with the story and proof that we paid, including the payment details? Or do you want me to file a defamation complaint against you in my personal capacity? It was paid before the deadline of January 31st. Wrong. Confirmed by the bank on February 7th. Wrong. It was paid on February the 8th, my friend. This is a drastic difference, and this is something that's been shown constantly throughout this issue. Their front-facing kind of persona of, oh guys, but we're so lovely. Oh, we're so lovely, please like us. And then once you get behind, they're beating it out of you with pitchforks and stamping on you. It's just completely two-faced. It's why many individuals who don't want to admit our evidence say, oh, but the money's paid. Let's just move on. The money's paid, guys. Come on, be friends. Let's be friends now. 3,000? I hear 0. There was also seemingly an issue with some of the video material that was used to separate the video into segments. Well, this is speculatory in my opinion. The videographer who reached out to us addressing these issues came to us with malicious intent. Once we obliged and removed the question segments, the interactions only became more nitpicky, specifically asking for upwards of 1 second to be removed from the video. Even mentioning the intent of vague legal action towards me and being taken if I did not make these changes. These weren't only the genuine concerns, these were scare tactics, in the hopes that we'd take the video down and keep quiet so they can continue with 2025, hence why we're making this video, including everything that happened afterwards. Pause if you wish to read that statement, because I'm not going to bother reading it. But as I mentioned, it's a bunch of legal jargon. Our reference is upholding GDPR, and we're meant to report all omissions of financial statements. And the biggest thing about this response is there was no response. There are no direct points made against the video, instead saying, let's be nice to each other and don't engage with further drama, which is not satisfactory when there's a video detailing how you left an organisation without deserved donations for over 4 months. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not drama. This is not two 19-year-old femboys trying to fight over whose thigh highs are better. This is a charity being left out of deserved money, upwards of $3,253.51. Exactly. This is not drama. This is skullduggery. This is antics. This is shenanigans by the board. They're only responding and attempting to save face because they got caught. They would have never told you they withheld money from charity. They would have never told you anything. Now, with a lot of the heat, the growing chat after I responded with my own statement, many people felt comfortable to reach out to me with their own stories. Now, I wanted to protect both the victims and my own ass. This story is an allegation, my friends, it's an allegation, with backing from a handful of volunteers that were present for it. So let's take a look at, now this is an alias, this is a fake name, Xenon. Let's take a look at Xenon's story. Hi there. Random message. I know I wanted to show appreciation for your recent video regarding Reffurence. I did see the commotion earlier in the group too, but I didn't really know the full story. Some people seem agitated and defensive, but your video did give a place to a very nice explanation from Thabo and your personal inputs to showcase what had transpired behind the scenes. My partner and I also had a weird feeling at the con during this charity event. Thabo was fantastic during the auction, and it's a real shame that what followed was such an incentive for a good cause turned sour. My partner even bought some stuff from the auction. It was initially €50 or so, but somehow behind the scenes they upmarked it to 150 randomly, despite that not being the right price too. So there was definitely a lot of miscommunication, if not full-on lack of it from the people in charge. My partner did actually pay the 150 just for the sake of charity and goodwill. But seeing what this led to is very disheartening, even if the money is now where it belongs. It's good that you brought this to light, even if it might cause some strain for the convention. They have to be better. So thank you for bringing the information to people that weren't aware of it. You're welcome. This is extremely interesting and worrying for many reasons, with this being independently verified by other volunteers, backroom hikes while they don't break the law, and the EU's price gouging law. It's still extremely unethical. When this individual wished to pick up their items, they were nearly charged triple the price. Triple their bidding price specific. It's fucking disgusting. And then to add further salt in the wound, they withheld the money that was bound for a charity. Bing, 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 bing. They're not like us. They withheld it for months, as Thabo said, ghosting the charity, ghosting Thabo, and any representative that reached out. Now, many have come forward with their own stories of what it's like to be in work with Reffurence in many separate capacities, but I wish to speak on something separate. Not only the harassment I've received, but the misgendering and entire, just not even attempting to hide the fact of transphobia. So I want to highlight an individual person. Now, we won't say names, we won't name names even if I wanted to, as this very much encapsulates a lot of the dissent received against the video. Now, this individual's name is Wallflower, and they've been a weird dissident I've come across in multiple different capacities. Wallflower acts like an American Republican. Instead of actually watching the video and taking in the information, he purely attacks me on a personal level and attempts to dissuade others from watching the video. The first message I received from this individual was in the actual London Furs group chat. Now, if you know London Furs, it is the pinnacle of institutes of human development and human thinking. So I posted my video in there. Since a lot of European conventions have crossovers, so a lot of attendees of Reffurence would attend Confuzzled, Nordic FuzzCon, and other places. A lot of overlap, and I thought it would be a useful tool to put in there. So, to begin it, he called me a schizo. I will say I did laugh. I do take antipsychotic medications, but not for that reason, dumbass. But this was okay. I joined the Reffurence chat to answer any questions the others may have. This is where I encountered Wallflower again. While two people were hounding me over questions regarding information I had no access to, Wallflower continuously made snide remarks regarding me. Eventually it got heated and they told me to shut the fuck up and that they're eating dinner. So I responded in a calm, professional, respectful manner, as I always do. This is something I will say for businesses across the world, and you should use this to get new clients. I proceeded to tell him that he was eating too much food. I'm not proud of it, but the fucker deserved it. Frequently when I was removed from the chat by other individuals, I was misgendered. So for today's video, I dressed like a prostitute. Look at that. Look at that. Tits, bitch. I'm trans if you couldn't tell. Look at the fucking flag. The thing I noticed was the incessant use of the word person and the removal entirely of my pronouns. See, people may see this as social justice-y, but people do often remove the usage of pronouns and labeling someone as an it or a person instead of using the correct pronouns as a way to demean or dehumanize them. Let's read out Wallflower's beautiful thing. So, Wallflower would frequently jump into other groups within the Netherlands, specifically Dutch Furry convention ones, Dutch Fur Meets, Dutch Comic-Con conventions, and basically give a one side of the story. They said there was a huge fight over a charity, and some dude, a woman, get that right, was talking like an anime protagonist. Also, Thabo was involved somewhere in the story, but no one explained to me where, and I'm not watching that video that looked like a crackpot conspiracy about the lizard people. Wallflower, I know what you look like, and you've no means to be calling me a crackpot. That's all I'm saying. Gerd Wilder's little brother looking ass. This is because of the fact of how he acts, this is genuine transphobia, and it's a common tactic used to justify more heinous attacks on people by completely devaluing their transition and treating them without an inkling of respect. Wallflower has been working overtime in order to stop people from viewing what he sees as an attack video. Yet, it is not an attack video. No threats were made. We have legitimate claims we wish to be addressed, but seemingly they don't have the mental capacity to recognise that. Not only that, but the silence and lack of response, despite me bringing it up to moderators, it really speaks volumes on what they prioritise. You're safe and you're loved by Reffurence, as long as you're not trans or a woman. Cheers. So what's my conclusion? What's my new conclusion about all this? An easy conclusion. The problem could have been resolved by Reffurence communicating correctly, but they acted like a 12-year-old. With the affected parties. Instead, many individuals attempted to wipe their hands of the situation and not deal with it, while the amount of €3,253.51 was still outstanding. This was followed by our video that was told to Reffurence that it would be communicated this way. Not only that, but then followed with lackluster response, and then basically saying, let's forget about this, we're all friends here. Which then were followed by more attacks from other individuals in an attempt to discredit me and Thabo. So all in all, Jesus Christ, an absolute childish mess. Thank you very much for watching, and go check out Thabo. Give them some good support.